Today, we're going to start making a cumulative case for Christian pacifism. Since we're talking about Christian pacifism, that means we should probably start with the Bible. Now, the Bible starts in the Old Testament, which has lots of things that don't seem too pacifistic. We'll get to that later. For this episode, we just want to focus on the general trend. There are three specific trends pertinent to our discussion here. First, independence to dependence on God. Second, a move from justice to righteousness. And third, a move from war-making to peacemaking. So let's start with independence to dependence. It's pretty straightforward that Adam and Eve screwed it all up when they tried to do their own thing. They tried to be like God and determine good and evil for themselves. The rest of the Old Testament is God trying to show the people their need for dependence on Him. God's constantly using people who are inept and seemingly all washed up, like Abraham and his barren wife Sarah. Or He's constantly trying to make people dependent, like Gideon whittling down his army. And when people start doing what they think is right in their own eyes, like worshiping other idols or being unjust, God allows other nations to come in and judge them. We see something similar with the move from justice to righteousness. While seemingly harsh, the Bible does a lot for justice compared to the ancient Near East, and it actually makes things pretty even. There aren't different law codes based on your class, unless you're a woman. And it tries to even the playing field a lot, an eye for an eye, no matter who you are. But by the end of the Old Testament, you've got the prophets saying that God is going to show mercy to people that they didn't think mercy should be applied to. Which leads us into the third trend, war-making to peacemaking. There's a whole lot of war-making in the first half of the Old Testament, but by the time we get to the end and the prophets, we see that swords are being beaten into plowshares. And that leads us into the New Testament, where we get the full revelation of God, the image of God Himself, Jesus Christ. Hebrews tells us that the Old Testament showed us things dimly, but through Jesus Christ, we see the full reflection of God. And Jesus taught us full dependence on God, which is most evident in the Lord's Prayer. He taught us that righteousness is more than just mere justice like the Pharisees were doing in completing the law, but it's not just not murdering, it's not hating, it's not just don't commit adultery, it's don't lust. And of course, Jesus taught us peacemaking, and even said that the peacemakers are the ones who are called the sons of God. Jesus taught us to turn the other cheek and to love our enemies. His apostles taught us not to seek vengeance, but to leave vengeance to God. The characteristics we see of love seem to overrule killing somebody, and Revelation tells us that the Lamb rules and those who shed their blood like Him.